Today we're going to take a look at how to make box plots in Python. I've already uploaded my coasters data set and have imported my libraries, pandas to help us upload our CSV file with the data, matplotlib.pyplot to help us make the visualizations, and numpy to help us change some settings. So first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a parallel box plot. I want to compare the distribution of top speeds for steel coasters versus wooden coasters. So the first thing I need to do is separate my data set based on steel and wooden and pull the top speed variable for each of those. So I am going to start by creating subsets. I'm going to do just steel, and that's going to be in my coasters data set, the type column. I want where it is equal to steel. And then I'm going to do the same thing for wooden. Coasters column type is equal to wooden. So those are my subsets. Subset of steel coasters, subset of wooden coasters. Then I want to just look at the top speed column in each of those. So I'm going to create two variables, top speed steel, which is going to be in my just steel data set, the top speed column, and then top speed wooden in my just wooden data set, just the top speed column. So when I run this code, it would help if I spelled speed correctly. What's my issue here? I forgot the underscore. Okay, there we go. So now I'm good. I'm ready to start making my box plot. So plt.boxplot. If I want to graph both the top speed of the steel coasters and the top speed of the wooden coasters, do top speed steel and then top speed wooden. And I need to do that inside square brackets. And then I'm going to go ahead and do plt.show, and then we'll change some settings in a few minutes. So here is our box plot. You'll notice it is an interesting choice, but the default are vertical box plots. That's not what's common in math. That is more common in science. And they labeled them boxplot 1 and boxplot 2 instead of steel and wooden. So if we want to change a few settings, first I want to add labels. This will change the labels at the bottom. Instead of having boxplot 1 and boxplot 2, I'm going to call them steel and wooden. One thing to be careful of is make sure that the order of your labels matches the order of your box plots. So if you did the steel box plot first, steel label should be first, wooden box plot second, wooden box plot should be second. And then I'm going to go ahead and change them to be horizontal box plots because that's what I prefer. So I'm going to do vert equals false. Okay. So now we have two box plots, they're labeled, and they are horizontal. As we've done with other graphs, you can add a title. I'm going to call this top speed by type. You can add axes labels. and do plt.x label. I'm going to call this top speed miles per hour. And then I'm going to adjust the X ticks because I don't like that we are counting by 20s down here. So I'm going to do np.arange. The minimum I want it to go to is 20, max is 130, and count by tens. So now you can see that changed our x-axis there. The circles here represent the outliers. You can change the symbol for those outliers if you choose to do so. There are a lot of settings you can change for different parts of the box plot. You can do median props to change this line for the median. You can do box props to change the box, whisker props to change the whiskers, cap props to change the little lines at the end, and flyer props to change the properties of the outliers. I'm not going to go through all of those settings, but I will link to the documentation in the description. The one thing I will show you is under plt.boxplot, if we do flyer props equals dict and then marker equals, you can choose a different symbol. So I changed the outliers to X's instead of O's. There are a lot of settings you can change here. This is by no means exhaustive, but this is how you create parallel box plots in Python.